What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful day today. Beautiful day. And today we're going to cook lentil soup for dinner. I have the lentils right here. This is my favorite company for lentils. So brand new 5-pound bag here. I'm going to use about a pound of lentils today. I'm going to wash those in a bit. Get some fresh water here, plenty of ice. Don't be afraid of the ice. For those of you out there that think that cold water, cold air make you sick, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay? You don't know what you're talking about. What makes you sick is a microbe, a virus, could be bacteria. That's what makes you sick. Drinking cold water with ice in it will not give you a sore throat. That you have to get mononucleosis or something like that. It has to be an organism. And cold air is not going to give you the flu. It's not going to give you the cold, as they call it, which is caused by over 220 different types of rhinoviruses. So that's it. There's people of a certain generation that cannot let go of that. Can't let go. You know, it's like put on a hat, you're gonna catch a cold. You're not. You're not gonna catch a cold. Stop lying to people. Anyway, so here's what we have. We have the lentils themselves, Palaus brand from Washington State. I'm a big fan of this company. I always use these lentils. Good emergency food too. If you're, you know, out in the wild, take some lentils with you, some water. Anyway, so we have that. We have extra virgin olive oil, and this one is product of Australia. 100% Australia Select. First harvest, which is the best, and first cold pressed. Highly recommend it. I had it yesterday for the first time, and really good stuff here. So here we have organic crushed tomatoes. Might even use a little bit of the tomato paste. I have cumin. I sprinkle some red pepper seeds, crushed, chili peppers, a little bit, and of course bay leaves. Bay leaves, look at that. Gives it a smoother flavor. Then I have a nice onion. I have garlic. I have carrots. Look at that. Good looking carrots. And I have celery. So I have my hot plate here. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to put some olive oil in here, and then I'm going to chop the stuff up and put it into the fire. One of the ingredients is fire. Let the onions caramelize. Oh, also for a salad I have beets. Big fan of beets. Anyway, so I'm going to put a little olive oil in here. It even comes with a spout. Ooh, nice and green. You know, yesterday I ate this out in the dark. I couldn't tell how green it is. That is nice. But see, that's what they say. They say the green comes from the first harvest, and then after that it kind of fades. So when you get olive oil that's really green, it's because it's the first harvest. Also, with lentils, I like to eat some white anchovies. These are wild caught. I like this brand. So anchovies, the back. Big fan of anchovies. You know, when I was a kid, I wouldn't even try it. I'd hear anchovies and I felt like it was a disgusting thing. You gotta try it, you know, and eat it with nice bread, a little bit of olive oil, maybe even an appetizer type of beverage. So we begin. Let's turn the fire on a little bit here. Onions make the dish. Without onions, what are you eating? That's the base right here, and I'm a big fan of the base. All right. You don't have to chop this really thin. We get the process going. You can hear that nice sizzle. Even that alone smells good. I'm gonna get a spoon. Okay, so we put the rest of the stuff. Let's cut the edges off a little bit. You don't want to be too aggressive with the knife because things start flying off the table like marbles. All right. Smells delicious. So now we have carrots. Garlic. I'm a big fan of garlic. Put a couple of cloves in there. Depends how I feel. Maybe I'll put 3. I feel like 3. Peel them off. I lost that one under the... All right. All right, now I cleaned up a little bit here, but now I'm going to add the crushed tomatoes. Delicious smell. I'm gonna add both. All right, I'm gonna go inside and wash my lentils, and then I'm gonna add water, add the lentils. I think I'm gonna add my spices first, everything except salt, because if you add salt now, it makes them tough. So I add salt at the very end. That way I avoid losing the tenderness of the nice lentils from Washington. I'll be back. I will be back. All right, I'm back. So I have vegetable stock, organic. I'm gonna add that in there for flavor. I was gonna say LAPD, but that is not. That's I don't know what that is. It's like a dark brown, and it was flying extra slow. So I don't know. All right, now we wait for this to come to a boil. And I got the lentils in here. I washed them thoroughly. I'm going to add some of the this is cumin. Love it. I love cumin. Too much is never enough. For me. For some people, you know, my mother can't eat that. Too much for her. Even an atom or a molecule from there, she can detect it. She's like a shark smelling blood and water. Pick that right up. But me, I like extra flavor. Mix it in there. A couple of bay leaves. I was reading somewhere, and I don't know how true it is. I have to experiment. But I was reading that, went a little fast, a butter knife or whatever. But I was reading that if you take, wow, nice fragrance. I was reading if you take a bunch of these organic bay leaves, I put a couple. Nice. These are laurel leaves. Anyway, I was reading if you take a bunch of these in a big pot of water and boil it down to like a couple of cups, like say a pot this big, and then you boil a bunch of these down to a couple of cups worth, and you sip it when you have a sore throat because of a bacteria or a viral infection. This here gives you relief, but it also accelerates the process of healing. I don't know it to be true, because you hear a lot of things like that. But, you know, I mean, I know soothing because it's warm, but they say it has antimicrobial properties, antibacterial properties, maybe antiviral. I'm sure it's not that potent, because if it were, you know, they'd be selling it at the pharmacy. But the smell is delicious. Now, I was gonna add some chili seeds, chili pepper. I like it, but I'm going to let everybody who's gonna eat tonight choose whether they want to have it or not. So I will put that on the side. Now, once this is done, like I said, I'll add the salt. But once this wraps up and you're ready to eat it, you can add white wine vinegar. You know, like a teaspoon, tablespoon into your plate, dish. Not a dish, plate, you know, bowl. That's what I'm trying to say, a bowl. And it intensifies the flavor. They kind of go together, if you like it. If you don't like it, they don't go together. Remember that song from the movie Grease, We Go Together? Big fan of the movie Grease. I went and saw that when it came out. The part about Rizzo being pregnant, or thought she was pregnant, that went over my head when I saw that originally. I thought it was a cool movie about, you know, a bunch of kids in high school that looked older than I thought they should have, which threw me off, because when I was in 8th grade, I was looking at myself in the mirror. You know, it was like you know, June, right when the school's ready to finish, and I'm graduating from 8th grade, and I'm going to go into high school, And I'm looking at myself and I go, there's no way I look like a high school student, because I was basing what a high school student looks like on the movie Grease. I thought everybody liked that, but then I found out years later that those guys were like in their mid-20s. I think Travolta was 27. Some people were in their 30s, and they were playing teenagers. And I was like, ah, man, I don't look like a high schooler. Until I got to high school and I saw that everybody else looked like a baby too. Yeah, nobody looks like that in high school. But I enjoyed that movie. I went and I saw it with my father, actually. And I think the pregnancy scene went over his head. I don't think he was paying attention to the details of that. But I will say that one person that the details did not go over her head was my aunt. The day I saw the movie Grease, and then I got home, she was visiting with my cousin. And she says to me, where were you? And she was sitting in the living room. And I came up the front stairs, which is unusual because usually we'd go through the basement, come back up the kitchen side. And she said, where were you? I said, I went to see a movie. It was a Saturday. And she goes, what'd you see? I said, I saw Grease. And she opened up her mouth a bit, and she was like, you did? She goes, that's not for kids. And I said, there was nothing in that movie that wasn't for kids. I want to tell her, what did you notice? I didn't notice anything. And then years later, I realized what she was referring to, but I didn't think my aunt would have picked up on that stuff. Nor did I think she saw that movie, and maybe she didn't. Maybe my uncle saw it, because he was kind of like the guy that would see a movie and then, let you know if it's appropriate. So anyway, her mouth opened up and she's like, I go, yeah, I saw that. But I remember when I went to see that movie, my cousin, I had cousins on my father's side, and they kept telling me, oh, we got to go see that movie Grease, got to go see it. And I said, yeah, we'll go see it. So on the day I, decided to go and see it, I was at the gas station with my father. My father was getting his car fixed to get an oil change or something. And he finished up, and I said to my father, hey, take me to movies, I want to see a movie. And he said, all right, I'll take you to the movie. So I said, can I call my cousin and see if she wants to go? So there was a payphone in that gas station. It was an Arco, and called up my cousin. And she's like, she goes, I want to see it, but we already saw it. She goes, we saw it last night. I want to tell her, he told me to tell you when I was going to see it so we'd all go together. And then you went and saw it. You didn't call me. But anyway, we were little back then. We were little, and not a big deal. So anyway, I went and saw it with my father. I saw a few movies with my father, early on. Not many, but I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and I saw Superman, the first one, and I saw the movie Grease. So I saw those three movies with my father. I didn't usually go to see movies with my parents. And my mother, I've seen movies later on in life with her. I took her and said, let's go see a scary movie, just to see her reaction. But I usually would go either on my own or with my friends, but not with my parents. I wasn't that style of a person to do that, I wasn't. I will say though, I was a fan, and I'm still a fan of the ridiculous martial art movies. The ones where the kung fu guys are fighting for like 20 minutes straight without a break, and they're jumping from one thing to the other, and they're using all kind of, like if they had this in their hand, it would be a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. So I find those very entertaining. And when I was a kid, must have been like 12 years old, Said to my father, hey, you want to go? Because he was kind of into those. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'll take you. I go, yeah, Chinatown. I'll take you someday, he said to me. And someday usually meant, you know, never. So about a month or so went by, and I remember it was Friday. My father had come home from work. He was tired, and I said to him, hey, you want to go see one of those movies? And he said yes, which I was very surprised. Thought he would have been like, you know, I just got home now. So we got in the car, a station wagon, and we went all the way to Chinatown. It was night, dark out, very few people out. And it was in the shady part of town where this movie theater was. So we went in there, very old theater. We went in, it was nice inside. There were probably, I don't know, 15, 20 Chinese men in there with their wives, older gentlemen. You know, they had these, I don't know, I want to call them suits. They weren't really suits. They were some, I don't know, they kind of looked like karate suits. So, you know, they were kind of scattered around because it was a decent sized theater. And so me and my father went down halfway on the left-hand side, and we got a couple of seats there, and the movie began. And it was cozy. Felt like all the Chinese guys in there were like my grandfather's age. It's like watching my grandfather at the movie theater. Some of them were alone, but most of them had their women with them, their wives. Sound like a caveman when you say they're women, but their wives, their spouses. And so we watched the movie, and I remember the movie. It was a goofy guy who worked at a restaurant. I know I've said this before, but he worked at a restaurant, and when he would go home after work, the ninja guys would show up and beat him up. Well, they would try, but he would always carry a pair of chopsticks, and he would pull them out and he would beat them up with the chopsticks. There was a scene where he jumped up on a tree with the chopsticks. He was, you know, hitting them off the head with the chopsticks. Eventually, he beat them all, and he beat everybody in his neighborhood. He was like a Jeff Goldblum, you know, the guy from Jurassic Park, Goldblum. I don't know. Anyway, kind of like that style with longer hair and thinner and big teeth. But he was using chopsticks as a weapon. So we saw 2 movies that day. The Kung Fu fingers. The guy would jump up with these fingers and they'd go into people's shoulders. But, you know, they're ridiculous, but they're funny. And because they're funny, they're entertaining to me. So we did that, and it was supposed to be kind of like a, you know, a thing that me and my father was supposed to do every so often. Go down to Chinatown and, you know, see a nice Kung Fu movie. But we only did it that one time. Anyway, water's boiling. I'm going to add the lentils. All right. Now, 45 minutes. It takes 45 minutes for the water, boiling water, to seep in and make the lentils tender. 45, not 20. 45. I remember that movie, My Cousin Vinny, where the guy was cooking grits, and he claimed that, what was it, that, you know, in that period of time where he was an eyewitness, it took him 5 minutes to do the grits. And Joe Pesci said to him, how is that possible that the water seeped into your grits so fast when it takes the rest of the civilized world 20 minutes? You know, and he said, I think he asked him if he used instant grits, and he said no respectable southerner would use instant. So anyway, this takes 45. Wow, that smells delicious. I'm gonna bring my salt out to be prepared. I gotta time this so I know. Yeah, that's got a nice smell to it. So I have, as I mentioned earlier, I have anchovies. So I open these up later, put them in a dish, and it goes with this kind of food, if you like it. And also I bought a steak, and that one we're gonna all share. I'll make it like, I'll slice it, nice thin slices, and everybody can get a little bit, and it'll complement the lentil soup. And of course I'm gonna boil these. Anyway, that's it for now. Anyway, this is for tonight. I'm not eating it now. Now I'm gonna have some water. Yeah, this is the kind of food I always imagine going up to the mountains on a nice snowy day or night. And you bring the ingredients, you bring the lentils, all the stuff I have here, put it in a nice bag. You know, water's a little bit heavy, but I don't care. I'll bring it. It's not that heavy. Some people, they panic. Oh, how many ounces is that? It's fine. So bring, like, I don't know, a gallon of water, half a gallon, I don't know. Well, if it's only you, you don't need a whole, you know, bring a thermos with water. And then go up there, especially on a snowy day, you know, a little bit chilly out, and start a little fire, you know, open up a hole in the ground, put a ventilation side to it so the air drifts in, and then have it nice and low so there's no danger of starting a forest fire. You know, that's the main thing. Always have plenty of water with you in case something gets out of control immediately with the water. But dig a hole about that deep, fill it up with wood charcoal or dry wood, light it up. Let's see who this is. I don't know who that is. That is not a LAPD. I don't know who that is. But anyway, I go up there, light it, then take a steel grate, put it on top, put this on top, make sure you have good ventilation or to feed the fire oxygen, and then cook a nice lentil soup. And then get a bowl out with a nice spoon, and while you're watching the snow fall, eat the soup. You'll feel cozy, and then have a tent set up so you can, you know, get a nice nap. Because after you eat a big meal, a nice nap is necessary. Unless you're driving, and then you got to put cruise control on and then take the nap. And I'm kidding, you know, that there's going to be somebody who's going to see it and they're going to put cruise control on and go in the back and read a magazine, and their car's going to go off the road. So do not do that. A lot of people out there, you know, they don't think. That's why McDonald's has to put on their coffee cups, you know, caution extremely hot, because somebody sued them for having the audacity of making a coffee cup with the water inside with the coffee hot. You know, I mean, the nerve of McDonald's to do that. So somebody sued them, and I think they won. So from that point on, McDonald's would put on warning labels that the coffee is hot. All right, that's it for now.